bit of buzz around some of these players, to be fair, as well. I think Savage especially has been getting a little bit of hype behind him. I think Fresh is referring to him as the next one to make it, and obviously now that he's here, you got to put up or shut up, quite simply. A number of players are going to prove that in this stage. Navi starting out with a Jackalban first and foremost on the attacking side. Normally a very big orchestration, Tim, of your intent on the defensive side is to get out around the map and cause a little bit of bother.
Yeah, I think, Jackal makes a lot of sense. As you say, it just allows you. It's a big map. Get out there and use it. We're going to have Knock going as well. I'm not going to say it, Des.
I said don't say it.
Oh, you spotted it. Right, bans will continue. Also an interesting point that we haven't made yet, of course, is Saves playing against his old lineup as well.
Is indeed. Is indeed. That was one that It sounds really cruel. It wasn't a change I was massively excited about because back on the Navi days, Saves wasn't the most impactful player for the Navi side. And when he was, sadly removed from the team, I thought to myself, okay, well, now they can make a real big step forward here in what the pickups are. And whether they've done that or not is a complete and utter debate, a whole separate debate to have by itself. But again, all eyes are going to be on Savage. I think in this game is one of the big ones to come in and really make a difference. But my eyes personally really turn towards Keenan. I know for the longest time on this team, he's been stuck in roles that aren't really his. The Sleben and Gonfi duo really overtaking and saying, okay, we want this to be our kind of roles. Here's how we're going to play the game. So I think here by sticking him on entry, when we've seen kind of what he was doing back in the Matchco days when he was in Challenger League, hopefully you get to see him shine because even in a supportive role, he had some wonderful games last stage.
Round number 1 then, Navi kick us off on the defence, and interestingly they're taking us to the top floor, but it's not going to be to Aviator Games. We've seen a little bit of shying away from Aviator Games of late, and it will continue as Navi take us to Trophy and Statuary to kick things off. So we're going to see, I would imagine, a little bit of presence underneath because Villa's one of those maps where we start to see a lot of vertical nade play. We can see the mute jammers going down there, there's some reinforcements going on down there, so that tells us they're going to try to hold on to kitchen dining primarily because they don't want the vertical nades. Look at all that lovely wooden floor that you've got on Villa. So many, thank you very much, Medic, so many opportunities to be able to find those vertical nades. Practically the entirety of that upstairs, apart from very small little teeny tiny areas, can be naded from underneath.
Absolutely. I love how Villa's kind of going through a rotation as well, where for the longest time, Trophy and Statuary was the site to avoid. In fact, in LATAM, if I recall correctly, Tim, they would just completely bypass that site and hard ignore it. They'd just try and rotate between dining and kitchen and playing on Aviator, assuming you're going to lose one in 3 rounds and therefore can keep on going between those 2 sites. So to see AVG potentially being avoided here and instead Trophy and Statuary being the primary, that's a really interesting transition to what we saw about 18 months ago.
Keenan's moved in really aggressively underneath there. He's got Kendrew drawn in ahead of him, but there's a man on red stairs, I think. Yes, there is. Dips back as he sees the drone, and Keenan doesn't know which way to challenge at the minute. Has a little look up red stairs for the man, but knows that there's likely somebody playing inside a memorial as well. So for the time being, he's just going to drop himself away until he gets a little bit more information. But he's got himself caught in a little bit of a situation here because there's another man on the opposite side of him. I'm not sure that Navi know that they've got Keenan pinched in between the 2 of them, but there's certainly an opportunity for them to get in there and get an opener. Skiddy almost losing his life there as he challenges onto that study balcony. Needs to be a little bit careful, but the aggression pays off as one new boy finds another. Skiddy takes down Savage, and that's advantage Navi.
Good first kill, turns into a second as well. Sleben's gone, finds a third as Kendrew looking completely the wrong way. Keenan, the man I was getting hyped about on that entry, also shut out, and Navi flying in round 1, saves the last man left alive, and I don't know, Tim, it feels like what we used to see back on Navi, whereas the last man left alive, nowhere near the action, and sure enough, he gets picked off. It's a flawless first round coming out for Navi.
He cannot save them on this one as he gets taken down underneath. Kayak finishes it off, and what an opener for Skiddy. Welcome to Big School indeed. Gets himself a nice triple in the first round, showing good aggression. The thing is, that aggression was, I'd say, risky. He'd already taken about 70-80 damage. He was down to low HP. Still takes the peek around the corner into study and manages to get 3. After the first one, you've got to say somebody's got to be picking him up, really.
Kicking himself a little bit, I think, there, if you Savage, who I think it was who took the first engagement from that study balcony as well. Should really have found his man, but just look at this as well. Sees the pixel, bam, into that reaction time. Gets a second as well, because the call comes through a little bit late. Kendrew not even aware there. And I don't know what the call would have been. Were they expecting him to double back round and go for the door rather than push it aggressively on that angle? Probably, because you're a lot more exposed trying to look through that soft wall. But nope, walks away with a 3K. Beautiful round for him overall. Let's see how this next round plays out. It is going to be AVG, Tim, so we're not completely avoiding it. But that last round, it was basically an AVG attack. That's where all the action happened. So rinse and repeat, go again. Should really be no big changes here.
I was going to say, you could be forgiven for thinking that the last round was an Aviator game site. You know, that's where a lot of the defensive pressure was applied on the top floor. There was a little bit of action underneath, but not much. But we certainly didn't see anything of Trophy Statuary, Master, Bathroom, Astro. We didn't see anything going on over that side of the map. I think we'll see a little bit more of that this time, because Team Secret, as the attackers, will probably try to push in from that north side, get themselves established and move towards map's door. But there is a little bit of pressure mounting already on Study Balcony as well, and we could be on for an Amaru into 90, but if he does, he's going to wish he didn't.
Oh, no, I was about to say, literally the last bullet from Thunder there put him down. Otherwise, that could have gone horribly wrong. Sleben almost able to get not the first kill, but also into a second as well. But a good collect overall by Thunder leaves things just on that 1-0 so far to the side of Navi.
Secret just being a little bit wild at the minute in these early stages, giving those lives away, not really reacting fantastically well. And 4 versus 5, they have to go again. Kendrew's going to send in the Rotero, but he goes too close to the mute jammed wall. I would expect them to already know that the mute jammer was in position, and they need to be careful, because if that mute jammer does get taken out, the Rotero will activate and could detonate near them. So something they need to be aware of later in the round. Nath with a beautiful peek there, taking down Savage with a bit of savagery of his own there as he rips him down the long corridor. And we now find ourselves in a 5 versus 3.
Really unfortunate for Savage. These first couple of rounds have been brutal, to be fair. Just taken out. First one by Skiddy. That one there peeked out on by Nath. Not yet able to show what he's made of. These Roteros, though, rolling on through, taking out crucial bits of utility. They've also had a Twitch drone doing the same, as Blur picks up another, and Secret crumbling in these first couple of rounds so far, Tim. But I will go back to what I always say. Sometimes you've got to wait for that second half. Navi, a great defensive team. Their attacks didn't really have much bite last stage. So Secret may well wake up in the second half, but you still need something in the first half if you can have any real hope of having a good second.
Keenan potentially going to get himself peaked on the long angle there. Navi maybe just not quite aggressive enough as Keenan makes the challenge in towards Bar. That was the opportunity to swing around and pick up that kill. Instead, it's going to be 2 versus 4 as Team Secret try to push in from Study. They're just trying to get something going at this point. Need to find them kills, and they know that Keenan is the man to do it if anybody can. Saves, he's trying to join the force here and get himself in towards Study door, but Skiddy's just holding himself on a tight angle there, waiting for that push to come through, and as it does, they're going to be in trouble. I think Saves maybe has an idea. Somebody's playing that tight angle, but he can't win the fight as Skiddy takes the swing and takes the kill. Goes for a second. Keenan manages to get the trade, but 1v3. 18 seconds left to go. Diffuser on the ground. There is not a lot going for him at the minute. He's going to have to get himself inside a sight and take these challenges. Absolutely no choice as the seconds keep on ticking by. The sand keeps running through the hourglass. Long challenge there. That's a 3k in the round. Can he get the ace? Absolutely not. As Blur shuts down Keenan, and that's going to be a round to Navi again. 2-0 in what feels like very quick time.
It did, yeah, really rifling on through, but I think towards the back end of that round, you saw again some of that threat that was maybe coming out of Keenan. Like, I know here Savage is also playing on an entry role here, is playing the Finker whilst Keenan's on the Iana, but maybe here changing that round a little bit because Savage is struggling to get involved so far. Let Keenan be the kind of frontline, is a bit more comfortable in that case. You've just seen what he can already do. Have Savage play second entry behind him and just look to really shine off the back of a play being made by Keenan. Just give him a little bit of breathing room on his first game here in EUL.
Living room and library, interestingly. Yeah, I like to see it mixed up. I like to see a little bit of a difference. Usually the ground floor site that we would see would be kitchen and dining, but Navi instead choosing to bring living room library. We did see a little bit of popularity for this site. I want to say it was about 12 months ago. We saw it creeping in. Latam particularly, you mentioned not liking Trophy Statuary, would quite frequently take this as a third choice option. So if you're wondering what's going on, it's going to be very similar to kitchen dining. I would would imagine Team Secret are going to get a little bit of top floor control. As I said, there's so much verticality possible, lots of wooden floors. If you're wondering where that is, basically your downstairs sites, they line up nicely with your upstairs sites. So living room library, you want to get control over Vault, Aviator Games, 90 Corridor, and then if you were attacking kitchen dining, it's Master, it's Trophy, it's Statuary.
I'm kind of surprised there haven't been any holes opened up inside of Vault yet.
Yes.
Because back when they were known as Vitality, the team now known as Walls really did kind of pioneer a defense up here, if I remember correctly. They played against BDS 2 times in a couple of days, and BDS on the second time running brought an Amara and came up through the basement. It was a really interesting attack. But for Vitality, the idea is you open up Vault a little bit, you can see all the way through to the back walls down inside of sight, and essentially you force the attackers to have to come and aggress onto you. Now, I spoke about changing things around. That's what they've done. Keenan was in first, but Skiddy still finds his man.
The only thing they've managed to change, Des, is who died first. Instead of Sleben or Savage, this time it was Keenan. All 3 entry kills so far going to Navi, and they look like they're absolutely cruising at the minute, but Savage manages to get in and finally shut down Skiddy. Worth mentioning, 5 kills in the first 3 rounds, going fantastically well in his first EUL game. That is definitely going to be a point to the credit for Team Secret, having taken that man down. It's 4v4, and it gives them a little bit more of an opportunity in this round.
Thing is, you've got other players doing pretty well so far, looking out towards Blur, Nath, for example. Sure, they're not massively on the board because Skiddy's been taking them all, but a lot of confidence still to come through from there. Savage, I think, was looking for the play from below. Either the hatch has been reinforced off or just realised, look, not really the play we should be going for anymore. Is going to push his way up instead from the north side and likely try and work his way down into either wall onto the west side, as he is doing right now, in towards Mudroom. Try and step his way forwards, or down in towards Red Hall was going to be the play I was looking for here. The problem with these long angles, again, is you're now looking, one, at the default cam above your head. You've got the bulletproof camera deeper inside its sight itself, so they can see basically everything that you're looking to do. There's Blur stepping up 3-0 now himself and still got that top floor control.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem for Team Secret in the later round.
This is what I was on about.
Yeah, they've got the breach into sight, which is fantastic for them, but they're going to find that any plant attempt can likely be shut down from above if they don't go up there and get it cleared out. For the time being, though, the problem that they face is manpower. They don't have enough bodies, realistically, to be sending up there and committing to that top floor. But you can see there, as Savage comes around the corner on the Amaru, just having to check that top floor all the time, that trophy balcony, make sure that he's not being peaked, and that is going to be a continuous problem. But with 3 upstairs, I do wonder, I think it's 3 upstairs, it's at least 2. I just wonder if they've maybe overcommitted a little bit, Navi, and left sight a little bit light.
May well have done here. Savage taking a couple of shots, and he's right. There is someone coming in behind. He gets the kill onto Blur. That's what you're looking for. Still keeps him fighting, at least for now, but he's so conscious of those vertical angles, Tim. Just knows that a threat can come through, but he's found the reverse. A 3k in the round. That plan to put Keenan first as the sacrificial lamb has worked. Plant is going down. Still 2 left. Bring out with the impacts here. Savage literally down to about 2 HP. Can he finish it off? Yes, he can, but he can't find the right man. Nath brings him down. Navi going to find their 3rd round.
Looking good from Navi so far. As I said, I was a little bit worried for them when it went to 2v2. I think it was 2v3. There was only 1 left on site. It was after Blur was killed, and there was an opportunity for Secret to have a 2v1 on site, but Thunder managed to relocate and get himself a nice kill from above, and it just helped to sort of level the odds for Navi. And honestly, I think it's going to be a struggle for Secret at the minute. Navi have been considerably on top of things so far. I think Team Secret, it's going to take a hell of a team talk, put it that way, for Secret. You know, that hasn't been the difference between these rounds so far in the first 3. So Secret are really going to have to pull something out here. It is interesting to see Navi go for the 4th site as you pick up on Des, kitchen and dining.
There we go.
That concerns me a little bit as well. I'm sort of thinking, you know what, you've just had 3 great rounds. Just rinse and repeat. Get yourself back to trophy statuary. They didn't even get anywhere near sight. If you want to bring kitchen dining in, maybe use it for round 6. Maybe mix it up that way. But trophy statuary, they got absolutely nowhere near it.
There's also the potential mind game that plays in here of assuming Secret have called that timeout to talk about the next 3 sites they're going through, assuming the same rotation, and instead go, oh, we're not going to the site we just discussed. And maybe that was suggested because straight away, Kendra was re-picking across onto the Ossa, which is what they played in round 1 when attacking Trophy and Statuary. So Secret had the expectation they'd be attacking there again. Re-pick obviously is in, so now they've got saves across on the Buck, they've got Kenny on the IQ. So have made a couple of changes for this site specifically, but now it means a lot more things for them to kind of discover for the first first time, including being jumped out on by Blur.
Keenan lucky to keep his life there. He's down to about 20 HP, and he's going to see himself getting challenged by Blur over and over, I think, until that threat is dealt with. Savage looking to go and assist. He's already done so with a nanobot boost, just to get Keenan a little bit of health left and keep him in the fight a little bit better. Keenan can maybe take one bullet now, but he's going to have to find an instant headshot if he wants to be having any impact.
Absolutely. Well, getting juiced up by the Finker is always a wonderful benefit of her, of course. No matter how low your HP, you can still get yourself healed up. A small overheal as well, always on the cards. Since that change came in, she has been really quite obnoxious. In, of course, tandem with the LMGs, the nades, the Gon 6, everything else we've seen. It's why you're seeing her banned away by some teams. Now, Kendrew knows there's a pulse. He's seeing that on his scanner below. Now it's just trying to find the pulse in this case and is still looking through. But I don't know if he'll be able to find the angle. It's kind of a who can find who first. A cat and mouse game here. He thinks he's found the man, but he's just waiting for the footsteps to appear. They'll go for a spray. Sees the man, goes for the spray down. Can't quite find the pulse. Nath down to about 5 HP there, Tim.
I think he's going to keep himself off the scanner for the time being. Doesn't want any more shots raining through because he's only going to take one bullet, even through a soft surface. Skiddy just managing to escape after doing the damage of getting that opening kill onto Savage, taking the Thinker off the board. We've spoken about the abundance of utility that operator brings along, and that is now lost. Anything that was left is gone. 5 versus 4, 2 minutes gone. Secret have got themselves top floor control. That's a point in their credit. They can start working vertically down onto site, but right now I'm not seeing Navi being sort of moved around too much, and that's what you're looking for here. You want to force those defenders out of position, but the problem is for Secret, there's nobody there horizontally, Des. There's nobody to challenge. Move the defenders. Move them all you want, because there's nobody there to kill them.
Look, largely unfazed, right? A little bit of a tickle coming in from Kendra above, and that's been about it so far. I say that, and then Sleba naturally steps up and finishes off the low HP Nath. I think that was his C4 on the ceiling. Not quite sure. It could have been Yaks as well. In which case, it's okay. It's Kai's C4. I've been told by the observers. Thank you very much. That won't be able to chance to come out though as well, because now Yak has gone down as well. Sleben doing some good work on the vertical so far. A couple of kills coming through in the round. Does start to swing things back. But the issue is, Tim, there's only 15 seconds on the clock, and with 3 members of Navi left standing, you've got to play this to perfection.
I think Secret might be able to just do this though. They've got the manpower. They're pushing in. They've got the position inside a site. 3v3, but a man down. Effectively 2v3 for Navi here. 2v2 as a big flank comes off from Blur. Kendrew's getting the diffuser down, taken out, and it is a great last second defense from Navi. Secret with 10 seconds to go. I felt like there was an opportunity for them to get in. They had the man over, and if they could have just found that cover to get the diffuser down, but no. Navi once again have the answers and go 4-0 on the scoreboard.
Looking prolific, that's for sure. I think we've got a quick pause coming in here as well. So for Navi, they've got some work to do now, rotating back through sites they've already been to prior. So in this case, I think they're going to step back in towards Trophy or Aviator, and we get that full rotation coming in once again. But it's not looking good for Secret at all, Tim.
No, it's not right now. There's no other way to paint it. Like you say, Navi are likely to go back to Trophy and then AVG. They've got the top 2 sites available to them now. They're generally the preference for most teams. This really could be a 6-0 half that we could be looking at here, because Secret, as I've said, this isn't just about the site. This isn't just about the strategy. Secret look off the pace, realistically.
It's been hard when they haven't really been able to get into any of the rounds either, right? Consistently, the entries have gone against them. Skiddy is 3-0 on the entry, which is just ludicrous. And the 4th one so far has been collected by Thunder. So if you can't get Keenan and Savage running and rioting through the start of a round on that 1st and 2nd entry, it's no real big surprise that you're struggling. And again, where there was a lot of hype behind Savage and less so around Skiddy, putting on a bit of a show so far. Him and Blur collectively so far sat on 13 kills. A really good start inside 4 rounds.
And it's a difficult position for Secret right now, Des, because, we want to say they played stage 1 with the coach, absolutely.
Yeah.
They've got two new players come in, Savage and Saves. There's a lot of work that this team need to do, but unfortunately, and this isn't me saying, that I'm not going to give them the time. Just the fact is, they don't have the time.
No.
They don't have the time to burn another stage. They need, within these first few games, to get themselves running. They need to have a good stage with a decent amount of points here. And that right now is looking like it could potentially be an issue for Secret. I don't want to get carried away. We're only 4 rounds into their first game, but my point is, within the first 2 or 3 play days, they need to be finding how it works for this roster.
This is the 3rd round now as well. They brought the Amaru along. They're trying the Ossa for a 2nd time, but the big change is really coming into me is the Nomad that they haven't brought yet alongside the Decabi, which of course they also haven't played yet. So Secret clearly saying, look, we're being jumped out on. We've got Roamers giving us a real headache. We need to shut them down. So that Jackal ban coming away, we spoke about how that was kind of really orchestrating what Navi were going to try and do. And I'm glad here that Secret have got some plans to deal with it. Going to try and go for a little deep smoke down here as well, straight in towards site. Wonderfully done. Keenan's going to try and get his way up by the looks of it. Sorry, Keenan up through into 90 and then step his way forward as the Finker Juice comes through. This is where the march begins.
Much better. Savage manages to open things up with the kill onto Nath. There's the challenge. Keenan going for Skiddy. Manages to find him. Blur takes Sleben along the way. Thunder with a trade. And this is something Navi have done so well, Des. They're always there for the refrag. They're always there to get those trades, keep the manpower level. 3v3 and Secret continue their push here, or at least they're trying to, but they've been halted. One in bathroom. Beautiful from Thunder as he proves lightning can strike twice. 2 kills in a row and he swings the manpower in their favour. Navi 3v2 now and still half of the round here for Team Secret. They've got the time, but they don't have the manpower. They don't have the capability to win the gunfights at the minute. And Des, they don't have much of a hope right now.
Just holding on tight here as well. They had Thunder up close, who's now backed away, but this side of Navi know exactly where they're coming from and can respond in kind. All eyes currently trained the wrong way, though, as one of them is rotating round here. They could catch him on the flank here if Kendrew steps his way forward. That smoke's going to give him away, though, and that now means these members of Navi can slightly turn their attention. You've seen Kendrew spin around, just waiting for him to step in his way forward, but that was the key for Savage to go forward, and Savage he is. Down goes Thunder. Still 2 more to find. That LMG can sing, but can they find the man? I think he just saw the backside. Shoot him in the booty. Down he goes with a 3K. Looking for the 4th. Can't quite connect. Yat's got a hold. He doesn't fire first. Secret finally get their first round.
Navi have just shown us a big weakness there, and that was in the complete lack of response to Savage's first kill. They're in a 3v2, Savage gets 1, brings it back to 2v2, but my question's then got to be on Blur. He's just sat focusing on the rotation and pays no attention to the door that a kill has just come from. And yes, Savage might rotate, but do you know what? You know 100% that he's just got a kill from Astro Door. You've got to take a little look at that at least. You can't just keep yourself sat there like that, and that was a problem for Navi there. I feel like they've thrown that round away.
Again, I can't remember the game we had earlier on. I think it was our 2nd game of the day for G2 versus Walls when there was a 2 versus 3 that was won. It was won by G2, it was Virtue and Alamau, I believe, who won out a 2v3. And those are the kind of situations where you look at as the attackers and just be like, well, there's 3 of us, there's 2 of them. We play for trades, we can win. We've got the superior health, we've got the Finker, the big guns, we've got utility on side. If you can't close those kind of rounds out, it's a little bit of a kicker. And I really feel like Secret have just gone and sold him a kipper a bit there, right? They've just kind of gone, hey, look, I'm coming through master bedroom, he. Savage walks right up and just gets 2 kills, swinging round to the right. There was no response, there was no real trade play. Just small, silly mistakes being made there that did cost them the round.
You've said it exactly, Des. Savage's first kill, there was 0 response. There was 0 reaction to it.
They were so scared about the bedroom push.
Yeah, it was just so strange. It was just so strange. But hey ho, we head into round number 6. Navi 4-1 and sitting pretty at the minute. But I tell you what, if Team Secret come away with a 2-4 attacking half here, Des, they are going to feel like they've robbed Navi after the way this has gone so far. And Navi, they might just struggle from that a little bit. It could be a bit of a mental blow. They need to win round 6 here. They need to take a 5-1 because they've been dominant so far. If they allow Secret another one here, Secret start feeling like they've woken up.
That's it. If they get it, then it's a big story and things completely turn around. But in my eyes, at least, Secret have got even 1 round as padding in the second half. That is still a big lead other than going into match point every single time in that second half. Skiddy worked his way right down into the basement here to be a little trouble starter. The thing is, there is a drone down here as well from Keenan doing a little bit of shopping himself to see what's going on down there in the wine cellar. I don't believe he saw Skiddy down there, so Skiddy still in a good chance here to cause some damage.
I'm just wondering if that Twitch drone missed its shot on the ADS there. It was just taken taken out very briefly afterwards as well, and the ADS is still in place on those red stairs, so need to be making sure that you are hitting those, especially if you're so close. Second one going to be gone, so that ADS is going to stay in place now. Nobody playing on the red stairs at the minute, but it is a position that Skiddy could relocate to later in the round from downstairs. So the time being, Navi continuing to try and find challenges. Blur nearly gets his man, but taken down by Kendrew. Better from Secret. Nath, however, manages to take down Keenan. Big blow for Secret, 4v4.
I think that's better there, yeah, where they've made the play, right? They stepped forward, smashed out the barricade, then had Kendrew step across to the side and almost play for a trade there when he expected the aggression to come out of top red, because this is EU. Why wouldn't you swing in that kind of situation? Marching their way down towards 90, this is where Secret start to get themselves an opportunity to do some damage here as well. But I think Savage knows someone can pop up behind that Kiva barricade at any time, not just kayak inside of sight, but also the man sat at the top of main in Skiddy.
Seeing plenty of continued use of those Kiva barricades just to change the landscape that you're playing on during the round and offer that late cover, and like you say, just preventing the man pushing 90. Thunder preventing the man pushing Max Door, gets himself a second onto Kendrew, and Thunder is going big so far today on Villa, 6 and 2 up to this point, and having some really impactful moments. 4 versus 2, and Navi this time, they need to make no mistake, they need to hold on, but Savage, he manages to find Thunder, he does the damage, and he starts to push on in. Saves is there with him, and this could be dangerous for Navi now. 3v2, they've already lost from this sort of a situation. Savage has an opportunity to potentially put this diffuser down behind the vault door, but no, he's going to switch it up. He's going to go to maps, but I'm not sure they've got an opportunity to stop him here. Saves, manages to keep the man down on the cover. He's going to have to go for the plant again. He relocates. Time ticks down. It's up to Navi now, and they get the job done.
Easy peasy.
Skiddy has had such a half there.
Played a really patient game there as well, I think. Didn't feel the need to charge in, kind of waited for the opportunity from the team to call. I was kind of concerned for a second there was going to be a little bit of misalignment on the push, and there was, to be fair. Nath came at the top of red, tried to come in for a gunfight, but there wasn't the matching flank coming in from Skiddy. If that happens, you are 90% guaranteed to win out those gunfights and kill both of those players who were stuck to the east side of that map's table. But instead he comes up solo, loses his life. Thankfully, they get a bit of a trade across from inside a bar, and then Skiddy comes across for the 2K. That was the big moment they were looking for. Just again, a very small mistake from Navi, but the kind of thing that against other teams in EUL will cost you rounds.
Oh, absolutely, no question of it. But Navi fortunately had the manpower and were able to still roll the dice and win that one. Round number 7 then, we head on to the second half, and this is going to be really telling now, this round, as if Team Secret come out looking good on the defence, you'd think, yep, maybe the fight back's on, maybe we're just seeing Villa showing its defender-sided bias, as can often be the case. But if Navi can come in here and continue with that fragging, particularly keeping Skiddy active, he's on the thinker now, get him in there, get some kills, win this round, get your match point, then Team Secret for me are probably all but beaten.
Absolutely. Well, let's see how things shape up. 4 players spawning straight down towards the south and charging in towards Study. Get the books out, boys. Hit the books in preparation for what could turn out to be one of your final exams. Only 2 of them needed to be passed for them to get that sweet 7-1 against Team Secret. And what a first day that would be, especially for the young lad Skiddy as well, who's had, as you say, Tim, a wonderful game so far. Do you want to give a shout to Blur, though? Because he's a player that over the last year, I want to say faded into obscurity, but definitely was not the player that we all saw when he first came into EUL. You know, he was like rookie of the stage, highest rating, really delivering goods, and hasn't for a while. But this game could signal a slow return to form for him.
Thinker of Skiddy just trying to find some of those vertical nades from underneath to kick things off. Blur's down there with him as well, but it's going to be Savage who finds the first kill. They haven't picked up on the roaming Jaeger, and Nath is going to pay the price for it. So that is a great start. That's exactly what Team Secret needed to kick off this defensive phase. Now then, we're going to have utility being dealt with. Nade potentially going out, but the timing just not there. And the nade goes in too slow. ADS is going to be taken out. Second nade goes in, does some damage, but it's Blur taking the real damage. Skiddy finds Kendrew, 4v4, and Navi are fighting back.
It's a good start, absolutely. That 4 versus 4 kicking in. Small mistiming are the kind of things that can cost you big. Now Thunder's charging his way up. In another gunfight here, takes 1, but doesn't go down. Must know this man is still holding the angle. Goes for the pre-fire, but a little bit too low, and Savage hits the headshot.
3 versus 3 as we come into the second half of this round. 1 minute 30 left on the clock, and Blur could well find himself with a headshot onto the Azami there. Gets the opportunity, but cannot find the kill onto Sleben. So this time here for Navi, they don't need to rush. We can see Skiddy getting on the drone. I think Yak is going to do the same thing. So there's an opportunity here for them to just take their foot off the gas a little bit. 7 drones left, Des. They're doing a fantastic job on the info game here, Navi, and they can really wait and find out where these players are, get the locations and see if there's a cheap kill that they can get to just give themselves that advantage in the final 40 seconds.
They have been analysing that ceiling from downstairs for a long time, though, just praying that someone on Secret gets a little bit bold and goes for a peek on the downstairs. It would be a freebie, but Secret simply ain't relenting. Still playing this quite smart, and I love the fact they've got a player tucked in here just inside of Wolf or Zombie as well. Zombie, I think it is that one. Just tucked in there quite safely. They have no idea, and this is a real chance for Sage to spring out and do some damage in a game that so far his impact simply hasn't been felt.
Secret are looking pretty good at the minute. Kayak's going to be opening up the Kiba barricade that's going to give access onto the bar area, but it's just going to get replaced. There we go. Sleben waiting, ready, and they're going to have to go through that process again with 15 seconds left to go. It leaves Savage very safe inside his site. And as we can see, Skiddy's moved in, and it's going to be all down to saves unless Skiddy can hold him off here, but he's going to be able to get the planter. Can he get both? Of course he can. 2 big kills for saves there and make it a third. 3 in the round. Team Secret locked down their first defense, and that was a round that they sorely needed and managed to find. Could be the start of a comeback.
I mean, we called Saves, 45 seconds prior that he was just sat on Zombie, like not droned out, not needing to move, was just playing the patient game. That's just how orchestrated that attack must have felt to Secret, that they knew what Navi were going for. I think as soon as you see 2 or 3 players trying to challenge on that main stairs, you know what's coming. It's not likely they're going to wrap all the way around. Sure, maybe they try and go inside bar, and then you've got the long angle that you can use from across an aviator to challenge into behind the bar. So no matter what happens, Saves is still in a good chance to do some contestation there. Ultimately, they go for the wrong site though. He's there waiting. Easy close down. So even with 7 drones on side, Tim, still don't find their man.
Nope, that's it. And Navi, whilst, yes, they, didn't have a bad round in terms of information, they maybe just need to be utilising it a little better. They've lost 3 drones this time in the prep phase, so that is not great for them. We would expect them to be losing 1, 2 at the absolute most during this phase. Make that 4 that's gone down in the prep phase now. They're going to be starting with only 6 drones on side, and that is going to be a big loss for Navi in terms of attacking. This time, they're going to be attacking onto Trophy and Statuary here in round number 8. We've got the Azami present from Sleben. A great round played from him last time out, keeping Savage safe inside a site. Ultimately, it was Saves that did all the work, but still, they were the last line of defence, and Sleben made sure that they were there to be able to have an impact.
Ooh, okay. I did say wait until you get to that second half and we see how Navi improve, because, again, looking back at last stage, attacks weren't really their forte. Defence, maybe so. They look like a defensive team. They've got a lot of supportive players. That's always the thing that was said about them, and it did show in the results. So if Secret carry on at this sort of rate, you never know where this game's going to end up. That last one, not exactly a close round for Navi. Didn't get the drone work done, didn't find out the key man, found themselves shut down. Still, Skinny making good progress here early in the round, led in by a drone as well. Something that no doubt a few other teams could learn a lesson from, given how the games today have gone so far, Tim.
Yeah, I think so. There's a few more drones on side than thought for Navi, so I think maybe a little bit of misleading on the counter through the prep phase, but they've got 9 left, and as I said, they need to, yes, continue doing what they're doing with the drones, but they need to be utilising the information better, and that was much better as Savage takes a ton of damage and ultimately gets shut down, just running back in for a repeat there onto Blur, but it ain't going to pay off as he gets shut down. That's going to kick things off for Navi, 5 versus 4, and this is too soon for Team Secret to be losing another round. They need to get to 3 to 4 before Navi manage to find that 6th round, but they can't go from 6-2.
Bit of a combo breaker as well, because the last 3 rounds we've had Secret find the entry after losing the first 4 in a row, and that really is when Navi have now stepped in with Blur, getting that kill to really start slowing things down on the other side. And they coming through, connecting ever so slightly on towards Saves, not doing enough damage to get anywhere near taking him out, but just a reminder, you are mortal, nades will connect, but look at all these players of Navi like grouping up here, Tim. It looks like they really want to go for a trophy push here, with 3 players in, Blur on the downstairs, but Sleben could cause some damage here. Blur has absolutely no idea what's coming. Timing could be everything here, and there we go, Sleben with the shutdown.
That's great from Sleben. Sleben there, because what it does, it just puts it in the head of Navi that we've got somebody underneath. We need to be watching these flanks. Hopefully for them, they've got drones in place, and Blur can now just go on to sitting and watching those for them. Skiddy trying to find the long angle. He knows a man is there. Out goes a nade. Good. It's going to be captured by one of those Wamai magnets, and the push to get into sight continues, but Secret are holding fast at the minute. They are not being budged. They're not being forced back, and this is looking pretty good for them. 4v4, Kendrew on the short angle manages to use that shotgun as Skiddy tries to rush in, gets himself one, and that could be a big kill here. 20 seconds left to go, and Navi really need to get themselves inside of the site.
I was going to say they have 6 flashes in back pocket. They only just used the first one. Kendrew, not white screened at all, finds a big 3k inside of sight, and like that, Navi is shut down. And Tim, these are the kind of real basic things we're talking about. Drone work in the last round, utility work in this one. Secret will find yet another, and dare we say, Tim, it feels like that comeback is on.
The bit of advice that I would give after that round is don't keep running in to a player with an SAS shotgun, because that is exactly what's going to happen. Kendrew is just going to sit there and he's going to pull that trigger all day long. And at that range, you ain't going to beat him. You might even land a shot or two, but you're not going to find the kill. You're going to have to be very, very lucky to pop a headshot on him, and the chances are you're dying anyway. It'll be a trade at best. And Kendrew just completely sealing off the site there, but Navi, they were out of ideas. They were pushing in through a single door. They didn't open up Master Wall. They didn't have any pressure in Bathroom Astro. They didn't have anything going on from underneath. There was absolutely nothing else. It was all trophy door.
And again, 6 flashes in back pocket. Toss them in, burn out the Wamais, flash the player that's just killed you with a shotgun. Do something, boys. Do want to mention really quickly, 6 of the 8 rounds that we've had so far have featured a 3k, Tim. It's coming down to these big players, or big hero players, I guess you could call them, of just going out and absolutely fragging out, basically. And you know my thoughts on hero plays. If there's more rounds where a player with a 3k is winning you the round than not, that's kind of a sign that the teamwork isn't really shining, but instead individual players are the ones really creating big opportunities. It's a problem that G2 suffer with sometimes as well. So I'm not filled with confidence by either team so far. Sure, we've had Skiddy doing some wonderful stuff, but that's the problem. It's been Skiddy.
Keeper barricades being used once again by Sleben to create those safe spaces. This is what we've seen as Army being primarily used for, and then as the round continues, being used a bit more reaction rate to close up hard breaches, for example, to, you know, close off those rotations. But for the time being, it's just to create that little safe space. It just makes it a bit more viable to play inside of Astro. Kendrew on the pulse, feeding information into the team as Navi try to get into the top floor.
I didn't see towards the end of last round if any were used, but when we looked at Sleben as the execute was starting to happen, he had 4 keeper barriers in back pocket. Because he was off on the roam downstairs looking to cause trouble, I don't think he really got any of his setup actually in the map. Now he's playing more, well, not really on site, but he's playing above site. Now he can use those keeper barriers a little more aggressively around Trophy, around Astro, and look to keep the enemy team locked out there for longer.
Absolutely that, and Skiddy's looking to play into Trophy now, but knows that it's not going to be a straightforward push because he can see the keeper barricades there and knows that there is likely an Azarmate behind one of them. Now then, concussive grenade goes in through Astro window. That should tell them that there is somebody playing just inside. That's what it was being used for, to see if there was anybody there. Nath looking to join the action here, opens up a window, going to get himself inside of the map. And Navi, they've got themselves established well, Des, but they haven't got the control that they need realistically yet. They're only just forcing Secret back, and now they've got the next problem, which is 3 nitros underneath their feet.
And a pulse guy in them as well. Like homing missiles they are when you've got this on side. See the pings coming through. That one I think is a pre-placed as well, just waiting for the call, but it's Skiddy to find Says, who gets shut down. That's one of those C4s offline. Ideal start. So he now enters and is the first player, I believe, getting into double-digit kills on the map.
5 versus 4 now, Navi, 1 minute to go, but angles are being held, and once again I just feel like it could be very similar to round number 8, whereby they end up with a very one-dimensional push playing into the angles and the lines of sight that Secret are holding. We've had a second nitro go out. It will detonate, it will not do any damage, or I think maybe it was a pre-place. Oh, they've still got Kaid. It must have been a nade or another alternative explosive, maybe one of those soft breach charges, because the 2 remaining players have both got them in hand. Could have been Sleben with the impact, I guess. Keenan, he's going to try his first. He's going to miss with his first, so that leaves us just 1 nitro on side in the hands of Kendrew. He does have the information to use it, but is he going to connect?
Well, a kill from above suggests potential. Well, from below that one, sorry, suggests probably not. My only concern is that C4 was blind when you have a pulse on side. There still has his own C4 that now is not even going to be used. So 2 C4s were killed before they got used. The third one was unguided. It all falls apart. The plant is coming in. No, he might have just done enough here, but in comes Savage, finds the planter as well. He's the last man left alive. All you got to do is live, my son. Oh, Nath finds the kill. Up to round 9 we go, and Nath has just helped Navi find the round they need to get to match point. If nothing else, overtime is guaranteed.
That is really unfortunate for Savage there. He gets a really important kill in the middle of site, downs the diffuser, 3 seconds left to go.
Completely blindly, despite the pulse still being alive. It's just the small little things like these that, you know, as sad as it sounds, this is why these teams are always fighting it out in the bottom 3 or 4 teams in the competition, is the bare basics just don't come together. Whether it's drone play, whether it's utility use, like those flashbangs on the trophy execute, whether it's all stacking on one doorway, just all these small things you've really got to expand on and have these core basic fundamentals down. I appreciate both teams have made changes, but those are the kind of things that should be, you know, in place from minute 1.
Certainly should be. Heading into round number 10 we go then. No more mistakes for Team Secret now. If the comeback is on, it needs to be here and now. They need to get themselves the next 3 rounds back to back. They are going to go to Aviator Games. It's the site that we saw them win back in round 7. It was their first defense. They got a good opening kill with Savage picking Nath up, and it really did roll from there. Navi didn't make too much of it. It was saves, if you remember, at the end, was able to pop round, get that 3K, just kept himself out of dodge and just timed it absolutely perfectly. So Team Secret will be looking for more of the same.
Yeah, the classic there, Tim. I'm always saying the saying, it feels like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I doubt he gets an opportunity to pull that kind of thing off again. And Navi are almost kind of preparing for it. Not so much for someone to step around a corner and literally spray them down, but more for the chance of would-be roamers. Because think about, for example, the flank that came out of Nath and out of Skiddy when they were defending on this site. They want to shut that down. They got a Lion. They got a Gridlock. After banning away the Jackal, for them it feels like, okay, here's how we control things a little bit better. And Nath comes through. Will Stubborn go down? No, he will not. Gets a wonderful 2K. Skiddy and Thunder taken off the field already, and Keenan makes it a 3rd.
I was just going to say, how do they deal with this now? This is exactly what we've been saying about Navi. You've picked up Sleben on your drones. You know where he is. Go and kill him. Go and get him. But instead, 3 die. 2 to Sleben and 1 to Keenan. They cannot let Sleben get away with that sort of a situation. It's the 2nd kill onto Master Window as well. That's the one that's, I won't go as far as unforgivable, but there needs to be an immediate call. Sleben's got me out of bathroom. He's moving. You know, there's the potential there for him to then challenge onto Master. Whoever it is that's playing there, I think it was the Lion of Thunder, he's got to be ready. That should be a free kill. That should be an immediate trade for him. Job done. Sleben should be punished for that movement, and you're in a 4v4. But as it is, no, Team Secret 5v2. Halfway mark, Navi, very little that they can do here. The first and foremost, try and find some kills.
Just find kills, Tim.
Just simple as that.
Just click kills.
Just go and click on some Team Secret
click
players.
on some heads. Lol, easy. Absolutely not.
That's all they can do.
Yak's trying to come in for an alternative angle to try and challenge onto this shield on the stairs, but without any utility, you're walking into a death sentence. Ready for the shotgun pump? Okay, no, it's an SMG. It still gets the job done. Down goes Yak. It's 1 man left alive. Nath to pull it all off by himself, trying to walk his way forwards here as we get into that last 60 seconds or so. He will get absolutely crapped on here. There we go. Saves with the close. Secret with another round, up to 6 and 4, Tim. Can you just smell that overtime on the way?
Navi were a mile away from that. Like I said, just the challenge onto Sleben was a little bit too weak. Skiddy got himself, I don't want to criticise, Skiddy's had a great game, but gets himself led down underneath bathroom window. He's got the idea, I'm going to put the nade in there on him. And then he stands up. And I'm not sure what angle he was going for particularly, because I don't think it's really going to gain you much. Just dump the nade into bathroom, get him moved.
In my Gold 3 experience, lie down and throw the nade. That's actually my go-to. If someone's in bathroom, lie down.
He stands up.
Otherwise, you get swung. He's doing the right idea in terms of getting up on the cupboard as well to get the longer angle. But if you lay down, you still can't see him. Just pop the nade in. Down goes the player. Easy.
You'd have done it, Des.
I'd have done it, mate. Absolutely.
Easy as that.
Every single time, without fail. I'm sure.
Round number 11.
If they want me to stand in, I'll try my best.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if Skiddy's mouse needs cleaning later, Des.
I'll top up their water bottles. I'll bring them some energy
I'll tell you
drinks.
what, I bet it'll be the best water they've ever drunk as well.
Only because it'll be Tim approved, though.
Absolutely, of course it will.
Contracts only.
Connoisseur. Round number 11.
Do you drink of water by any chance,
I could do one, actually. Funny that you should say that. Round number 11, here we go. Navi on the attack. They've got the map point. They've lost one. They've got 2 more bites at this one, and they need to get it shut down now. They do not want to go to round 12.
I was so crouched. I was like, what are you worried about? They were worried about a potential run out, I think, and they were just getting ready for it. And
I mean, there's the old nitro off the balcony.
It's also that as well, but I think it was fair because Savage was being a bit cheeky out towards the east there. Not that he could have run out from that way. He'd have to have gone out of the laundry door and then gone out that way instead, which just simply wouldn't have worked. So whatever the read was, they were at least being cautious. So Navi have all gathered here. They're all gathered here today for this momentous occasion up on the balcony. Thing is, Sleben is blocking them off. No entry to the wedding for you guys. There's a couple playing on the downstairs as well, looking to stop them getting that vertical control from below. And potentially, the C4 from Keenan can do some work.
Navi need themselves the entry here. They just need to get themselves that advantage. The EMP comes in. This is better. We're seeing them attacking straight onto Master this time, as you say. Far too late there. The Hibana pellets will detonate. You'll see the electrification come through. Very possibly. No, they're still going to detonate. Thunder gets taken down by Savage, though, underneath. And that is a terrible start for Navi here as they find themselves on the back foot. And I tell you what, there's not too many rounds that they've won where they've lost that opening kill. And so that is not a big start for them. Skiddy, he's going to get himself into bathroom. That's a good place to get established in. He can challenge through onto Astro now. They didn't really pay any attention to this side of the map last time around, so I'm glad to see that Navi are focusing over there this time as well.
For me, it's all about the utility use, right? Knowing that you have, well, you did have 6 flashes on side, now you've only got 3. They've got those nades on side as well. Let's see them use well. You know there's a Wamai on side. You know there are Kiba barriers you've got to get through. You know there are Banshees. They've got Gun 6s. They've got so much on side that they can use effectively here that it's got to come together this time.
Savage, I just want to give him a shout as well. 12 and 7, going fantastically well.
After that slow start.
Yeah, slow start, and just going quietly about his job. You know, nothing too flashy there, but just solidly picking kills up round after round. Him and Skiddy both having a big introduction to EUL. 22 kills between the two of them, and both big talents for the future, I'm sure. Skiddy looking to make his mark once again here as he tries to push his team into Astro, but he just can't make any inroads at the minute. But there's a little bit of a pinch on here. You've got Skiddy on bathroom door. You've got Nath on the master breach there, just looking through, making life difficult for Kendrew.
Getting blasted on here as well, but there's Savage. No way do you whiff shots like that. No, Savage! Not like this! Not like this! How do you whiff that one, my son? Oh, no! It couldn't have gone more wrong.
4 versus 3 now. Navi need to use this opportunity, need to keep pushing forward with that momentum that those 2 kills have just got them. Skiddy, he's going to get aggressive. He's following that nade in, but Sleben shuts him down. Blur Nerf, big kills. 3v1. Need to start putting that diffuser down, though. 4 seconds left to go. Sleben's holding on. Yak, he's going to start putting it down. Can Sleben make an impact? He gets one. Can he find the planter? He absolutely cannot. Yak is going to be able to stick that one. And now it's up to Sleben 1v2. He's got to fight back. He's got to find kills. He's looking across the void that's between him and Trophy, but they've hit the deck. They're keeping themselves off the radar here. He can't find one, but can he take these as a 1v1 at least? Navi, you got to play this smart. Blur it is who manages to finish him off, and Navi just managed to get that extra yard that they needed for the last few rounds, close it out, and that is a big first victory for this newly updated roster.
Still some of the same issues creeping in though, Tim. Those attacks were not pretty. We touched on the issues throughout. You know, defensively, great as always, but the use of the utility, for example, both on attack and defense at points was a little bit dicey.